Colorado High School Activities Association Baseball is on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com this afternoon from Legion Field in Fort Morgan. It's a Morgan County matchup here as the Brush Bee Diggers take on the Fort Morgan Mustangs of John Beltran. We're going to start this game about 10 minutes early as the opening pitch this afternoon is brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips. Looking to find insurance for your car, home, or even for you? Call Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance, locations at Brush and Fort Morgan. They can help you with your home, car, health, or life insurance questions or provide a quote. Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. Jaron Peterson steps in for the Bee Diggers. The pitch from Trevor Shurtleff is a fastball for a strike at the knees. Peterson hitting .375. We'll run through Shurtleff's numbers here in a second. Wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is outside, and the count is level at 1-1 strike. Shurtleff is 2-0 at 3.85 ERA. And we'll run through the Bee Diggers starting lineup as well. Shurtleff, a fast worker, throws a fastball upstairs. Bee Diggers starting lineup brought to you by Equitable Savings and Loan. The pitch, down and away with a heater, and he's working very quickly. Man, he works like this, and he's going to get tired. Jaron Peterson batting first. Obviously. Behind him is, as the pitch is swung on and misses, Ryan Fergus, the left fielder. Trent Mount, the shortstop, at third. Gunnar Guzman's the cleanup hitter at first base. Ryan Dunker, the pitcher, at fifth. Ben Brown, the second baseman, bats sixth. 3-2. Swung on, grounded foul up the right side. The DH is Connor Keegan. Isaac De Herrera, the third baseman, bats seventh. Colin Cole hits ninth. De Herrera eighth and Cole ninth. And the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball is grounded up the middle. To his left, the shortstop throws across the diamond and off the bag. Isaac Linker threw it a little bit wide, and now they're going to call him out. Well, what was that? I mean, that was two different calls. Well, I guess he was overruled over there, but I didn't see that as any routine call because initially it looked like the ball beat him and that Marquez's foot was on the bag, and then first base umpire said he was off the bag, and then it was barely overruled, so it's a 6-3 play to begin the game, and hopefully the umpire gets more consistent after that. Here's Ryan Fergus. Righty against righty, the wind and the pitch, and the breaking ball is in the dirt. The Mustangs have Adrian Marquez at first, Joe Holbeck at second. The third baseman is Nate Cage. Isaac Linker at short. Jimmy Keller in left, J.P. Hamer in center. Bobby Tolson in right. The fastball's up and in. Trey McBride is behind the plate, and Shurtleff has struggled a bit in the early going. 5 balls and 4 strikes, but he's got it now 2-0. He took something off it down and away with a breaking ball. It's 3-0. Fergus is hitting .529, Brush's best hitter, and that fastball is over for a strike at the knees. 3 balls and 1 strike on a gorgeous Thursday. And the offering. The breaking ball, swing and a miss. Man, that slow curve unleashed by Shurtleff. It's now 3-2. With 1 down and the bases empty in the top of the first inning. And the offering. Curveball is lined down the left field line for a base hit. And Ryan Fergus continues his hot hitting for Brush. And that'll send up Trent Mount. As T. Money's hitting .429. Leads the team with 8 runs batted in. Bee Diggers are coached by Kevin Fergus. And the head coach of the Mustangs is Josh Langford. Bee Diggers were supposed to play yesterday against Strasburg, and on Tuesday, actually, either one of those days, but weather affected both of those games, the stretch and the pitch, and that fastball's down and in at 1 ball and no strikes. The Bee Diggers come into the game with a 2-3 record, and Fort Morgan at 5-1. All of their games have been decided by 1 run, with the exception of a 3-1 victory over Frederick here in Game 2. Out a 2-step lead for Fergus. Throw back to first, back and diving is Fergus. 1 on and 1 out in the first inning. With Gunnar Guzman on deck for Brush. Mount digs back in, throw back to first, and again, back and diving Fergus. It's going to be tough for Brush to run considering the arm that McBride's got back there, and Shurtleff works very quickly towards the plate. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, 1 on. The stretch and the offering, and the breaking ball's a strike on the outer half, belt high. It's 1-1. Make Stubbs Gas and Oil your next stop heading out of town. You can gas up your vehicle, sit down to lunch, get snacks, and your hunting and fishing licenses. At Stubbs Gas and Oil in Wiggins. The pitch. Swing and a miss and a fastball. Tying him up. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Trent Mount. And Fergus with a very short lead at first over there. About a step and a half. And the 1-2. And that is a called strike 3. A fastball in the inner half at the knees, and there's 2 down. As Trent Mount goes down, that brings up Gunnar Guzman. Guzman on the season hitting .091. He's had some good swings, though. Also looking for his first RBI. The junior awaits the pitch. Here it is. And that is a strike on the inner half at the knees. Took something off the heater. No balls and 1 strike. We'll have all the Mustang League games thereafter. Swag and a miss. Blow it right by Guzman on the outer half. It's no balls and 2 strikes, and Shurtleff is starting to find his rhythm here in the top of the first inning. 2-step lead for Fergus. And the pitch. And the breaking ball waved at and missed in the dirt. McBride dropped it. He picks it up and he throws him out. That completes a strikeout. And the inning is over. No runs. There was 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the first. The Bead Diggers do not score, and the Mustangs are coming to bat on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. The Mustang starting lineup is brought to you by Cargill, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. For the hometown Mustangs, batting first is the pitcher Trevor Shurtleff. Second baseman Joe Holbeck hits second. The catcher Trey McBride is in the third position. The cleanup hitters, the third baseman Nate Cage. J.P. Hamer, the center fielder, hits fifth. Shortstop Isaac Linker hits sixth. Batting seventh, the left fielder Jimmy Keller. Adrian Marquez, the first baseman, bats eighth. And Bobby Tolson in right bats ninth. For the Bead Diggers defensively at first is Gunnar Guzman. Ben Brown is at second. Isaac D. Herrera is the shortstop. They're checked out at third. The shortstop is Trent Mount. Around the outfield, Ryan Ferguson left. Jaron Peterson's in center. The right fielder is Carson Rule. Colin Cole behind the plate, and Ryan Dunker with an ERA of just over 1. Pitched very well this season in 1 start and 1 relief appearance. And here is Shurtleff for Fort Morgan. Wind in the pitch, and that changeup is in the dirt. Shurtleff hitting .261. The Mustangs are going for their 6th victory of the year. The wind and the 1-0, and that's upstairs with a fastball. 2 balls and no strikes. The Bead Diggers had a hit in the top of the first inning, didn't score, and the 2-0 swung on and fouled back. Ball 2, strike 1, pitcher to pitcher here in the bottom of the first inning from Legion. Lost you there for a second, but back with you. Wind and offering. Swung on and fouled straight back. The count is at 2-2 to the opening hitter here in the bottom of the first, Trevor Shurtleff. We'll check out both of these teams' schedules here momentarily as well. Here's the wind, the 2-2, and he short-armed that in the dirt. Might have been trying to unleash a changeup. 3 balls and 2 strikes. To the Mustang right-hander. The wind and offering. Swung on and popped up down the right field line. Carson Rule to his left along the line, still running, and just into fair territory makes the catch. And there's 1 down here in the bottom of the first inning as Shurtleff is retired. And that'll send up Joe Holbeck. The Mustang second baseman hitting .438. Had a very productive start so far. As Holbeck digs in against Ryan Dunker. The wind and offering. Swung on and foul back. Dunker again changing speeds very nicely. And he spots that fastball. So we got 2 excellent pitchers here today. The senior in Shurtleff and the junior in Dunker. With an open stance is Holbeck, the offering. And that one is off the catcher's glove. I don't know if he got crossed up there. Colin Cole nearly missed that completely. 1 ball and 1 strike. With 1 out and the bases empty here in the bottom of the first inning, no score. And nobody's going to work quicker than Shurtleff, so Dunker a little bit more deliberate. The offering, and that is inside. Took something off of that. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Bead Diggers got off to an excellent start, winning their first 2, but have lost 3 in a row. Fort Morgan very consistent at 5-1. Swung on and tapped up the third baseline, charging, and then throwing to first is D. Herrera. That's offline, up the right side into foul territory. And reaching on the air is Joe Holbeck. And that's why half of this game is putting it in play. And the Bead Diggers have struggled defensively so far in the last couple of games. And it's happened again here with an error committed by the third baseman, D. Herrera, on the errant throw. Here's Trey McBride. Big RBI opportunity here for the junior. McBride hitting .385. He has yet to homer this season, but we're only 7 games in. The wind and pitch, and he takes a fastball for a strike on the outer half, belt high, and it's 0-1. 1 out, 1 on. The man is in scoring position. And a throw back to second, and that's up the second base side. That's a low percentage throw, and Holbeck was in there easily. Yeah, usually that's more of a stall tactic than anything. It's tough to nail these guys at second at this level unless they're really cheating and have huge leads. No balls and 1 strike to McBride. Dunker looks back. And the pitch. And that's way outside with a changeup. And the count levels at 1-1. Live in your world and learn in ours at Northeastern. Go to njc.edu for classes available to you. Stretch by Dunker, and the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the right on the ball, tailing away from the right-hander. And the count moves to 1 ball and 2 strikes on the cleanup hitter for the Mustangs, Trey McBride. Who undoubtedly is a pretty much an all-conference, all-state type of performer with his skills. Started as a freshman, now a junior. And the 1-2. And he takes it down and away with a changeup. Count levels at 2 balls and 2 strikes to McBride. No score, bottom of the first inning, but the Mustangs are threatening. Holbeck leads off of second. The pitch, swinging and a foul right off the catcher, Cole. Again, threw him another changeup. Count remains at 2-2. Yeah, this is a pitcher in Dunker. You've got to keep those hands back because he can really pull the string on those changeups. Another 2-2 comes to you from Ryan Dunker. Swung on line to right field. That's going to drop in front of Carson Rule for a base hit. Holbeck is around third. He's going to be held up by Coach Langford. And now runners at the corners. Here for Nate Cage. Cage is hitting .353. He's driven in 4. And again, that's exactly what McBride had to do, keep the hands back and go the other way. But Cage is an excellent shot to drive in the game's first run. And let's see if McBride takes off anytime soon here. Go 18. To put 2 runners in scoring position. At third is Holbeck. At first is McBride. He just singled. Dunker gets the sign from Cole. And the pitch in the dirt, blocked by Cole. Again, short arm that change up a little bit. 1 ball and no strikes. And Dunker's already been extended here in the first inning. That was his 17th pitch. Cole setting up towards the outside. Runner goes, and that changeup is up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, now 2 RBIs are right there in scoring position for Nate Cage. And the offering upstairs, you might as well put him on at this point. 3-0 with J.P. Hamer on deck. Let's see if Dunker just throws something down the middle. The pitch, and that's upstairs, and he walked him. No harm there. He had a base open anyway. Here's Hamer as the Bead Diggers will play a double play depth. So Dunker in some early trouble here in the first inning. But that was all set up by a Bead Digger error, and then A base hit, the stretch, and the pitch. Swung on and tapped right back to the mound. Dunker to the plate for one. Cole to first. Nope, he won't make the throw. I don't think he had the angle there. It'll be a fielder's choice. 1-2, and the bases remain loaded. But there are 2 down now. Two down here for Isaac Linker. And the offering. Swing and a miss. Right through that changeup. It's 0-1. Linker hitting .350. He's driven in 5 on the year. Out of the stretches, Dunker with the bases loaded. The offering. Swung on and popped up into foul territory down the right side. A long run for Rule. Second baseman Brown gives chase, and it drops foul. And the count moves to 0-2. And Ryan Dunker is one pitch away from getting out of a mess and not allowing a run here in the bottom of the first inning. But again, he's been extended with these 23 pitches. No balls and 2 strikes to Linker. He's got to dig in and get a pitch he likes. The stretch by Dunker. And the offering. Swung on and lined up the middle. A base hit into left center field beyond the diving mound. 1 run is in. Nate Cage will be held up at third as McBride scores. It's an RBI single for Isaac Linker. And the Mustangs lead 1-0. Boy, that came on an 0-2 pitch as he got a hold of that changeup and was able to drill it up the middle. Here is Jimmy Keller hitting .278 with 6 runs batted in. Stretch and the offering. And that's a strike right down the middle, thigh high. Count is at 0-1 to the junior left fielder. And the offering. Swung on, line towards right field. Rule comes on and makes the catch. That's a big out recorded by Dunker, preventing any further damage. However, the Mustangs do get on the board in the first inning. They do it on 2 hits. There was a beat digger error, and the bases were left loaded. Let's head to the second. It's Fort Morgan 1, Brush nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the second in Fort Morgan, where the Mustangs lead the Beat Diggers 1-0 on an RBI single from Isaac Linker. And against Trevor Shurtleff in the second, the Beat Diggers will be sending up the middle of the order: Ryan Dunker, Ben Brown, and Connor Keegan. The Beat Digger Jr. Dunker hitting just .167 as he steps in. Shurtleff was extended too in that first inning with 21 pitches. Swinging a foul off McBride, went with a fastball down the middle. No balls and 1 strike. First Mustang run today was brought to you by Morgan Federal Bank as the breaking ball is down and away. A bank committed to their community and keeping banking simple on the cutting edge of banking. 321 Ensign. Morgan Federal Bank. There's a difference. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch down and away to the screen. One with another heater. 2 balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs lead the Beat Diggers 1-0 in the second. Mustangs will be getting into conference play rather soon. We'll have all those games on B106. Swinging a foul off to the right. Count moves to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the opening hitter here in the second. On a gorgeous day pitch. And the breaking ball swung on and missed. And that is the 3rd consecutive hitter that Trevor Shurtleff has fanned. Man, if he's got his stuff going like that, it's going to be tough for the Beat Diggers today. That'll bring up Ben Brown. Brown is hitting .125. Swung on and popped foul out of play behind the screen. The Beat Diggers are playing in that very competitive Patriot League, and the Mustangs in the Colorado 7, which they have dominated for years, and will do so again this year. And the fastball is up and in. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. With the bases empty, 1 down in the second. The pitch. And that curveball is up and outside. 2-1 to the junior second baseman, Ben Brown. Shurtleff delivers. Swing and a miss on a slow curve. Man, you got to read that right out of the hand, and didn't happen there. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss on another pitch that tied him up. 4 consecutive strikeouts here for Trevor Shurtleff. Man, he's making quick work of this Brush lineup. 2 down for Connor Keegan. Left-handed DH Keegan looking for his first hit of the season. The offering. Swing and a miss and a fastball at the letters. 0-1 to Keegan. The pitch. Way outside, man. I think Shurtleff wants to make this about an hour and 10-minute game. There's about 6 to 7 seconds in between pitches, which is extremely fast. Swing and a miss on a pitch that was up and in. Keegan went fishing for a pitch that was a ball, but it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And can Shurtleff strike out the side? It's outside. Took something off of that. It's 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes with the bases empty in the second. And the offering. Curveball is way outside. I'm surprised he went to that pitch, considering he's blown 2 fastballs right by him, and now he's in a 3-2 count. And the offering. Swung on and fouled, and he swung at ball 4. Yeah, Keegan is not seeing that ball well out of Shurtleff. He's just swinging at virtually anything that's, especially anything that's up. 3-2, and the offering. Swinging a foul off to the left that's headed out of play as Cage gives chase. Remains at 3 balls and 2 strikes to the B-Digger DH, hitting out of the 7-hole. The B-Diggers picked up a hit in the opening inning from Ryan Fergus. And the 3-2. Swinging a foul. But again, he's swinging at pitches that are really not strikes. Those are above the letters. Well, he's seeing the ball a little bit better, but you can't put those in play normally. If Keegan gets something over the plate, he can drive it a long way. But the pitches have been up. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. And the pitch. Swing and tapped up the third base side, but it's off the hitter, foul. Went off the right leg or foot there of Keegan. And the one thing he's done very well is extend this at bat. This will be the 10th pitch of this plate appearance, as Shurtleff has thrown as many pitches to this hitter as he has to the previous 2. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. He blew him away on a fastball above the letters. And Shurtleff strikes out the side in order. Let's go to the bottom of the second. In Fort Morgan, the Mustangs lead the B-Diggers 1-0 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Right now, the ball game belongs to Trevor Shurtleff. He's been in control, striking out 5 B-Diggers in a row as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Fort Morgan leads Brush 1-0. And the Mustangs will be sending up the bottom of the order. 8, 9, and 1. Marquez, Olson, and Shurtleff against right-hander Ryan Dunker. Adrian Marquez hitting .300. The pitch and the changeup is a strike down the middle. It's 0-1. The base hit from Isaac Linker in the first produced the game's only run. The offering in the dirt. Levels the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Here to Adrian Marquez. And Dunker delivers. And that one hit him on the left elbow. Looked like it hit him, yep. Are they going to say he stuck out the elbow? Well, that's going to be called a strike then at 1-2. Now Coach Langford now is debating that call. Home plate umpire saying he leaned into it. The count should be at 1-2. Here to Adrian Marquez to lead off the bottom of the second inning. The Mustangs with a 1-0 lead. Wind and pitch. Swing and a miss. So actually the previous pitch was a ball because it hit him, obviously. But since he stuck out his elbow, he just stays in the box. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So correction there, obviously. 2-2 to Marquez. And Dunker comes home. Swung on and fisted up the middle. Shortstop Mount charges, and then he plays it off his glove, picks it up, throws to first late. And, man, Mounts has had a terrible time at short. And I'm not talking this game. That was his first opportunity. He had to come in on the play, but fairly routine hop, and the Bee Diggers have now committed 2 errors in the infield for Brush since the 5th inning of the Sterling game has really been shaky. They're averaging an error an inning. Here is Bobby Tolson hitting 188, the stretch, short lead at first in the pitch, down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. The Bee Diggers at double play depth. Dunker looks in, runner goes, and that's taken for a strike on the changeup. Throw to second is going to be late. Very good pitch to steal on by Adrian Marquez. Now he's in scoring position. One ball, 1 strike. Dunker gets a sign from Cole. Throw back to second. He throws it into center field, but backed up by Peterson. Yeah, again, that's just a low percentage play. Any team who makes it, you really got to catch a guy napping. 1 ball and 1 strike here to the number 9 hitter, Tolson. From the right side, the pitch squaring to bunt, and he lays it down at the first base side. Gloved by Dunker, throws to first for the out. That's a sacrifice. Simple sacrifice, 1-3. Advancing to third is Marquez. And here's Shirtliff, who popped out in his first at bat. And again, the Bee Diggers are just putting the Mustangs in a position to score here. That's something that Brush will have to solve for. Morgan's been very good defensively this year. The stretch and the offering. Swung on, lined up the middle, just beyond the lunging pitcher Dunker for a base hit. Adrian Marquez scores. Trevor Shirtliff has helped his own cause. With an RBI single, the Mustangs lead 2-0. Here's Joe Holbeck. He reached on an error his first time up. Man, Dunker nearly stabbed that to his left. And Shirtliff can run. 2-step lead. The runner goes, that's a huge jump, and he takes it high. The throw is going to be late and pretty much unnecessary. That was a big-time stolen base off the pitcher Dunker. One ball and no strikes to Joe Holbeck, hitting out of the 2-hole. And the offering, squaring to bunt, lays it down the third baseline. Dunker is going to barehand it. Long throw to first will be late. And it's a base hit. A beautiful bunt by Holbeck down the third base line. And now runners at the corners for McBride. McBride singled his first time up. That's the thing with Dunker. When you throw that changeup, those are fairly easy to bunt. Not easy to hit well, but easy to bunt. Stretch by Dunker. And the offering. Swung on and popped up in the infield on the right side. Who's going to call for it? The second baseman, Ben Brown, makes the catch. And there's 2 down. And what a changeup there thrown by Ryan Dunker as McBride was way out in front. And that'll bring up Nate Cage. Cage walked on 4 pitches in his first plate appearance. And the pitch. Swung on, line towards center field. Jaron Peterson to his right, dives, and it's off the bottom of his glove. It's a base hit. A run scores. As crossing home plate is Shirtliff. It's an RBI single for Cage. The Mustangs have 2 across in the bottom of the second and lead Brush 3-0. And that ball was hit very hard. And nearly caught by Peterson in center. Here's J.P. Hamer. Stretch by Dunker. And the offering. Fastball is high. The Bee Diggers have won the last two meetings here. 7-6 in 2012 and 10-0 3 years ago. But Fort Morgan having their way here in 2017. The offering. In the dirt to the screen. That went right underneath Colin Cole. It's going to be a wild pitch. Second and third here for Hamer and a 2-0 count. And the Mustangs can break this thing wide open right now. Here as early as the second, especially with the way Shurtleff is pitching. As I mentioned, all the Mustang games have been decided by one run except one. They won by 2 runs in that one. And the 2-0. And that's a changeup for a strike on the outer half. 2 balls and 1 strike. Runners take their leads. And a pitch to Hamer. And that is a strike. Same spot. It is 2-2. Yeah, it looks like he's going to try to throw him that changeup. Holbeck at third. Cage at second. Colin Cole lays down the sign. And the 2-2. Swung on and popped up down the right field line. Could be trouble. The second baseman, Ben Brown, along the line. Makes the catch in foul territory. And that retires the Mustangs here in the bottom of the second inning. However, Fort Morgan puts together another nice frame as the Mustangs score 2 runs on 3 hits. There was a Bee Digger error and 2 men left. Let's head to the third after the break. It's Fort Morgan 3, Brush nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Trevor Shurtleff has struck out 5 Bee Diggers in a row as we head to the third inning. And the Mustangs lead the Bee Diggers 3-0. And for Brush, it'll be Isaac De Herrera, Colin Cole, and Jaron Peterson. De Herrera had the game-winning 2-run single against Valley in a 10-9 victory in Game 1. Hitting .250 on the year since then, 0 for 3. With an open stance from the right side. Here's the wind and offering. Slow curve is in the dirt. If you're Brush, you got to chip away. If you're the Mustangs, you haven't had to do anything defensively. Fastball is up and away. 2 balls and no strikes. 42 pitches thrown by Shurtleff so far. The pitch swung on, grounded to short. A routine play for Linker. Throws to first, and there's 1 down. 1 down for Colin Cole. Brush catcher on the year is hitting .333 and has driven in that many. And man, this pitcher is getting on a roll. The wind and pitch, and the breaking ball is over but low. And that is also 6 in a row retired by Shurtleff. Fastball swung on and foul back. That was up in the zone. Only 1 Bee Digger has reached. That's Ryan Fergus with that single in the first. And the 1-1 pitch. And that is a strike. Took something off it down the middle. It's 1-2. Shurtleff needs an inning where he throws anywhere from 10 to 12 pitches. 1-2. Colin Cole awaits the pitch. In the dirt with a breaking ball. Count levels at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. 1 down in the third. Fort Morgan 3, Brush nothing. The offering. And the curveball is over, but down and away. Well, it was over initially, then it kind of tailed away at the last second. That's a good take there by Cole, 3-2. And the offering, and that one is overthrown. It's ball 4. It was down and in, and Cole has issued a 1-out walk. That ends a string of 6 consecutive Bee Diggers retired by Trevor Shurtleff. Jaron Peterson grounded out as the Bee Diggers have a courtesy runner in Jade Queen. The Mustangs have 3 runs on 5 hits. The Bee Diggers no runs on 1 hit. Brush has committed 2 errors, and that fastball's down and in. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, no way Shurtleff is going 7 innings in this game unless he has a short inning. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Cole. Check that Queen. Mustangs with a run in the first and 2 more in the second. And the 1-0. And that breaking ball is high. 2 balls and no strikes. On deck is Fergus, who smashed a liner to left in the first. Peterson in the hitter's count. Takes a curveball right there for a strike at the knees. Ball 2, strike 1 to Jaron Peterson. With 1 out and 1 on in the third. 2-step lead over there for Jade Queen. The pitch. Inside, runner goes to second. Throw is right there, the tag, and he is going to be out. Boy, perfect throw by McBride, and Holbeck applies the tag, and Queen is caught stealing. Man, I'm surprised down by 3 that they were going to test McBride's arm, and Shurtleff has got a very quick move to the plate. And that was a decision that did not pay off, and Queen was out by a mile. And that is over and low, and that makes that caught stealing look worse for Brush because Peterson has been issued a walk. Second straight walk issued there by Shurtleff, but it doesn't matter. Here with 2 out. Fergus single to left his first time up. 2-step lead for Peterson. And Shurtleff delivers. Swung and a foul to the screen. No balls and 1 strike. Again, plenty of Mustang baseball will be coming up undoubtedly here on B106 and B106.com with all the league action. And the pitch to Fergus. Swing and a miss and a fastball. Challenged him right there, belt high. No balls and 2 strikes to the beat digger left fielder. Trevor Shurtleff has 6 strikeouts in the game if he can get Fergus to strike out. The pitch. Outside runner goes to second. Throw up the second base side. It's a stolen base for Peterson. Didn't get a great jump, but he's fast, and McBride had a throw that was well off to the right side of the bag from our angle. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here to Fergus. McBride lays down the sign, setting up on the outside corner. And the pitch. Breaking ball is down and away.
Nice pitch, Trevor.
2-2. And again for Shurtleff, he's building up that pitch count already. This will be pitch number 59, and we're only in the third. And the 2-2. Up and in. 3-2. 32 strikes and 27 balls so far for the senior Trevor Shurtleff. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Threw it right by Fergus. And that strikeout number 6, and the Beat Diggers are done in the third. No runs, no hits, no errors, and a man left. Let's head to the bottom of the third in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 3, the Beat Diggers nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. It'll be Isaac Linker, Jimmy Keller, and Adrian Marquez batting in the bottom of the third for Fort Morgan. The Mustangs lead the Beat Diggers 3-0. With a run in the first, 2 more in the second off of Dunker. Linker had an RBI single his first time up. And the pitch. And that is down and away. Took something off it. 1 ball and no strikes. The pitch. Swinging a foul at the plate. Count evens at 1-1. Fort Morgan has 5 hits through the first 2 innings, and the Beat Diggers have just 1. And the 2 brush errors have certainly hurt this team. Cole relays a sign to Dunker. 1-1 pitch, and he swings and taps it foul up the third base side. Gun moves to 1-2. Brush will be in action on Saturday, weather permitting. Doesn't look good there against Resurrection Christian. And the offering swung on and grounded left side. Third baseman D. Herrera to his left. Slings it to first in time. And Isaac Linker is out number 1. Here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. That'll send up Jimmy Keller, who lined out his first time up. Keller came into the game with a .278 batting average. The pitch swung on and fouled straight back, hung a changeup, and he got underneath it. It is 0-1 to Keller. Hitting from the right side, an all right-handed hitting lineup for Fort Morgan. Rarely see that, and that's bounced in. The Bay Diggers do have Connor Keegan as a left-handed hitter. 3-0 in favor of Fort Morgan. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And the story of the game is right-hander Trevor Shirtliff. He has struck out 6 and allowed just 1 hit. The pitch swung on and lined towards center field to his left as Peterson goes back, and he makes a lunging catch. He nearly misjudged it. In fact, he did misjudge it and used his athleticism to make the play. And there's 2 down. That ball had a lot more carry than Peterson thought, but he was able to flag it down. And here's Adrian Marquez, who reached on an air his first time up. So Marquez officially at 0 for 1. Here's the wind and the pitch. And the changeup is inside. So Dunker trying to put together a 1-2-3 inning. We had 1 in this game already from Shirtliff when he struck out the side in order in the 2nd. The offering, swing and a miss. He tried to hit that one to another county. It's a huge swing on a changeup. And the count levels at 1-1. With 2 down and the bases empty in the 3rd. And the offering. Outside corner. Just got a piece of the corner. And the count is at 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2. The pitch. Swung on and tapped foul up the third base side to Marquez. One ball, 2 strikes, 2 down. The base is empty in the bottom of the 3rd, and Fort Morgan with a 3-run lead. And the pitch swung on a line to left field, coming in and playing the ball on one hop is Ryan Fergus. It's a base hit for Marquez. The 6th hit of the game for the Mustangs. And that'll send up Bobby Tolson, who had a sacrifice bunt his first time up. He won't be doing that now. And that's because there's 2 down. All right, short lead at first over there for Marquez. No throw to first, just a step off. Again, Dunker's a pitcher. He relies on his defense, not a strikeout pitcher, and done pretty well. The defense has committed 2 errors behind him. Dunker comes home. Swung on tap, foul up the third base side. Yeah, if you're a team that likes to overswing, it's going to be tough to hit Dunker. No balls and 1 strike. The Bay Diggers are going to have to figure out how to get to Trevor Shirtliff, who's been in command. Runner goes, and that's a strike. The throw to second is right there, the slide, and he is safe. He beat it. Tag was behind the runner, so Marquez with a stolen base, and the Mustangs are running all over Brush. That's already 3 stolen bases. Oh, they called that outside, huh? Okay. So it was a ball. I thought he had a strike there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dunker looks back, and the pitch swung on and foul. That hanger was fouled back, but that was definitely ball 2. So we'll see a 1 ball, 2 strike pitch here to Bobby Tolson. Again, the runner off of second, and the offering in the dirt with a changeup. Count moves to 2-2, and Trevor Shirtliff's on deck. That's the 60th pitch thrown by Dunker. These starters have been extended quite a bit. And the offering runner going to third, swing and a miss, and Tolson strikes out. And the Mustangs, for the first time, do not score in an inning. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and a man left. For the first time, the Beat Diggers don't commit an error in an inning. We head to the 4th. The score, it is Fort Morgan 3, Brush nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's head to the 4th inning. Fort Morgan leads Brush 3-0. And Trevor Shurtleff has been outstanding with 6 strikeouts, allowing just 1 hit. But he has thrown 60 pitches, which is too many at this point. At least if he wants to go the distance, he'll face Trent Mounts, Gunnar Guzman, and Ryan Dunker. Mounts struck out his first time up. And this is the heart of the order for Brush, 3, 4, and 5. Got a nice crowd that has settled in here in field. And the pitch is low with a breaking ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Mounts, Guzman, and Dunker here in the 4th on the visiting side. 1-0 pitch, swung on and fouled straight back, went with a fastball. Count levels at 1-1. Here to the opening hitter in the 4th inning. Trent Mount, known as T-Money. The pitch is swung on, grounded into the hole to the shortstop. Linker sets, throws to first for the out. Man, that's a strong throw delivered by Isaac Linker. Made it look easy. And Trent Mount got down that line pretty nicely, but he's out number 1. And again, that documents a big difference here between these teams so far this season. Is the defense that Fort Morgan has demonstrated versus Brush, which is really trying to find themselves on that side. Wind and pitch, and Guzman takes a fastball down and away. He struck out his first time up. Shurtleff comes home. Curveball is outside. 2-0. Right-hander delivers. Swing and a miss and a fastball down and in. It is 2-1. The offering. Swing and a miss. That's a pitch that was way, way above the letters, and that's part of Guzman's struggles this year. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the offering, and that's low. Showed the discipline there, laying off a pitch that was down. 3-2 to Guzman. Yeah, had 2 or 3 Beat Diggers that have swung at that high pitch that Shurtleff was throwing. They're just not laying off. 3-2 offering. Swing and a miss and a slow curveball, and Guzman strikes out. And that's strikeout number 7 for Shurtleff. 2 down here in the 4th inning. There's Ryan Dunker. He struck out his first time up. Beat Diggers have got to start wondering, what are they going to do to make contact against this pitcher? Swung on in line towards second, and short hopping in his holeback goes to first as he stabbed it to the out. An excellent play there by Holbeck, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Trevor Shurtleff on a very well Dunker. Let's head to the bottom of the 4th. It's Fort Morgan 3, Brush nothing on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. It's Fort Morgan 3, Brush nothing as we move to the bottom half, 4th inning. And Ryan Dunker for Brush has got to keep it right there while the Mustangs are thinking about ending this early, but they need a big rally. It'll be Shurtleff, Holbeck, and Trey McBride. Shurtleff is 1 for 2, popped out and singled in a run. The pitch, up and in with a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes. And the offering, and that's right there. Took something off of that on the inner half, and the count goes to 1-1. What I like is that the hitter stays in the box and the pitcher stays in the rubber, squaring to bunt down and away, as opposed to all the time they take at the next level, which drives me insane. Our next Mustang game will be on Wednesday. Walt Central comes to visit. Brian Nick will have that call, and that ball went behind him. Wow. Shirley was wondering how he didn't get hit by that pitch. Ball 3, strike 1. On deck is Holbeck. Wind by Dunker and the pitch. And that is on the outside corner for a strike. 3-2. Yeah, I think with Dunker, he won't walk any hitters. He has walked one in this game. 3 balls, 2 strikes to the opening hitter here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Wind and pitch. Swung on and fouled to the screen on that changeup. And again, Dunker has the same concerns as Shirtliff in terms of pitch count. Shirtliff did have a short top of the 4th inning. It'll be another 3-2 pitch from Dunker. Swung on and ground foul up the third base side. Let's see, I believe Dunker has just 1 strikeout in the game. And, yep, he does, but he's allowed 6 hits. 3-2 pitch. Swung on in line into shallow right field. Diving as Carson Ruhl makes the catch. Oh, it's a heck of a play by the right fielder Ruhl on the dive. And he robs Trevor Shirtliff of a base hit. 1 down here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And there's Joe Holbeck, who raced on an air and then had a gorgeous bunt down the third base side. Holbeck is 1 for 2. The wind by Dunker and the pitch. And the changeup is upstairs. 1 ball and no strikes. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC at morgancc.edu. 1-0. Swung on and popped up into left field. Going back is Fergus. That ball's got some carry. He ranges under and one-handed grab. And that's 2 nice defensive plays by the Bead Diggers to begin the bottom of the 4th inning. And there's 2 down for Trey McBride, who singled and popped out. And again, well, he caught the ball, didn't he? What happened there? Hey, he caught the ball. Why is the run on second? Yeah, I mean, normally, if you catch the ball in the air, it's an out. Is that right? I mean, am I? Apparently, I don't know what happened there. Okay. I mean, that ball was hit well, but yeah, I'm not sure why Holbeck was sitting out at second base as if the ball dropped in for a hit, but it didn't. There's McBride and the offering. And he swings and grounds it to the third on 2 hops to D. Herrera, throws to first, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Dunker as we head to the 5th in Fort Morgan. It's the Mustangs 3, the Bead Diggers nothing. This is Brush, Fort Morgan Baseball on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Trevor Shirtliff is working on a 1-hitter as we head to the 5th inning. The Mustangs lead the Bead Diggers in Fort Morgan 3-0. It'll be Ben Brown, Connor Keegan, and Isaac D. Herrera against this dominating senior right-hander. ACI's proudly supports local high school sports throughout Northeast Colorado. When you need ice, don't just settle for any old frozen water. Get AC Ice at any local grocery or convenience store near you. That's AC Ice. All right, so here comes Ben Brown, who struck out swinging his first time up. We will have a Facebook Live segment coming up after the game. And unless the Bead Diggers figure out a way to get to Shirtliff, it's going to be a banner afternoon for him as he throws a strike, a fastball in the outer half. It's 0-1. That was pitch number 71, the offering. Swung on and grounded left side. The shortstop Linker in the hole. It's going to be a long throw, and he can't make one. It's a base hit. An infield hit. That was the right thing for Linker to do. That ball was hit slowly. And Ben Brown has Brush's second base knock of the game. That'll send up Connor Keegan. Keegan struck out swinging his first time up, but it was a pretty good at bat. He had 10 pitches in that at bat, and I doubt that Brown's going to be going. Bee Diggers have one stolen base. The pitch, and he is going. Nope, he just bluffed on a breaking ball down and away. Yeah, I think he wants Shurtleff to think about it. 1 ball and no strikes to the only left-handed hitter on either side in the starting lineup. That's a fastball for a strike on the outside corner, thigh high. And the count levels at 1-1. With the Bee Diggers trailing 3-0 in the 5th. Throw back to first, back in diving is Brown. Isaac De Herrera on deck, and he's leaning again. Back in diving again is Brown. The Mustangs are out hitting the Bee Diggers 6-2. Shurtleff stretches, and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he misses it on the outside corner. Went with a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Connor Keegan is still looking for his first hit of the season. Sun has disappeared for just a bit here in Fort Morgan. And the 1-2 in the dirt. Might have thrown him a changeup, taking something off that pitch. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Mustangs scored a run in the first and 2 more in the second. Neither team has scored, obviously, since then. And the 2-2 in the dirt, and the ball gets away from McBride, and Brown goes to second on the wild pitch. And now it's 3-2, and the Bee Diggers have a runner in scoring position with nobody out of the 5th inning. So 3-2. Here to the left-handed hitting DH, Connor Keegan. The stretch by the senior Shurtleff. And the pitch swung on and fouled up the first base side. Count remains at 3-2. Isaac Linker had the first RBI of the game for the Mustangs. And Shurtleff drove in the second run. Now he looks back. 3-2 pitch. Swung on and line down the right field line. That's a base hit headed for the corner. Ben Brown got a late jump. He sent around third, headed towards the plate, and the ball's going to roll as Brown goes sliding it head first. It's an RBI single for Connor Keegan, and the Bee Diggers are on the board here in the 5th inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Brush 1. That'll bring up De Herrera as the Bee Diggers pick up their second hit of the inning. De Herrera grounded to short in his first at-bat. And for Connor Keegan, again, his first hit of the season, and obviously his first RBI. De Herrera hitting at 200. Righty against righty, short lead at first, the pitch, and that's over but low. 1 ball and no strikes. And again, Shurtleff has the pitch count to worry about. That's 80 already. The pitch, fastball is up and in. 2 balls and no strikes, and Trevor loves to work quickly, but he's going to settle down a little bit, work a little bit slowly here on this third pitch to De Herrera. And here it is. Swing and a miss. Challenged him at the letters with a fastball. It's 2-1. The leading agricultural lender in the area is Premier Farm Credit, member-owned and committed to sharing the profits through their patronage program. Sterling, Fort Morgan, Yuma, and Holyoke, and that changeup is a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Isaac De Herrera, the sophomore third baseman for Brush. Shurtleff delivers in the dirt, blocked by McBride. 3-2. If Shurtleff wants to see the 6th inning, he's got to shorten this inning drastically. 3-2 pitch. Inside, and he walks. It's a walk to De Herrera. And all of a sudden, the Bee Diggers have something cooking. Yeah, well, what's Keegan doing? He didn't know it was ball 4. De Herrera standing on first. That'll bring up Colin Cole. Cole walked his first time up. And that is the 3rd walk issued by Shurtleff in the game. Let's see if he's going to bunt here. Stretch and pitch. And he's going to take a fastball for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. The Bee Diggers have a run home on Connor Keegan's RBI single, still with nobody out. It's 3-1 Fort Morgan in the 5th. And the pitch. And the breaking ball's a beauty on the inner half for a strike. 0-2 to Colin Cole with Sharon Peterson waiting to hit next. Runners take their leads. 0-2. Curveball is swung on, ground up the middle. The shortstop, Linker, plays it off his glove, and it's going to be, nobody's going to be out there. Everybody's going to be safe. Boy, that was a slow grounder up the middle. We'll have to score that an error. I mean, it was a makeable play. He fields it cleanly, at least to first base. And the bases are loaded for Jaron Peterson, who grounded out and walked. He's 0 for 1. Here comes Josh Langford for a visit, as the Mustang lead Jeopardy up by 2. Serving area bean grower since 1921 at 970-522-3595. Proud supporters of Northeastern Colorado sports. The inning began with an infield single by Ben Brown. Got the second on a wild pitch. Connor Keegan drove him in with a base hit. And then we had a walk to De Herrera and that little dribbler hit by Cole, which could not be played by Linker, giving charge there in the infield. And all of a sudden, the Bean Diggers have a shot to tie the game, perhaps take the lead with their number 1 hitter here coming up. At third is Keegan, De Herrera at second, and Cole at first. Trevor Shurtleff was virtually untouchable over the first 4 innings, striking out 7 and allowing just 1 hit. So here is Jaron Peterson, righty against righty. Again, Peterson is 0 for 1. And Shurtleff will operate out of the stretch with the bases full of Bean Diggers. The stretch and the pitch. That's a fastball for a strike. Down the middle at the knees, it's 0-1. To Jaron Peterson. Again at the belt, 0-1. And the curveball went behind him off McBride's glove. And Shurtleff is fortunate the ball didn't hit Peterson. And Shurtleff only has 20 pitches left. He's thrown 90 already, so he might not make it out of this inning. 1 ball and 1 strike. The stretch and the offering. Swung on and fouled back. He challenged Peterson with a fastball. It's 1-2. On deck, it's the leading hitter for Brush and Ryan Fergus. Runners take their leads from first, second, and third. 1-2 to Peterson. And the offering. That is a called strike 3 with a fastball on the outside corner, thigh high. And there's 1 down. Strikeout number 8 for Trevor Shurtleff. Boy, that's an impressive pitch by the senior. And here's Ryan Fergus, who singled and struck out. Yeah, I'm surprised that Peterson took that pitch. That got a good portion of the outside part of the plate. Again, out of the stretch. Pitch to Fergie. And the breaking ball's a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike all of a sudden. Just like that. Looks like Shurtleff is back in a rhythm. And the pitch. That is a strike at the knees with a fastball. It is 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to Fergus. The stretch. And the offering. Swing and a miss on a fastball in the outer half, and there's 2 down. On 3 pitches, Trevor Shurtleff blows away Ryan Fergus. And now Trent Mount is going to be up there with 2 down and the bases full of Bean Diggers. Mount struck out and grounded out. And we're talking about the number 1 and 2 hitters in this lineup, and this is number 3 in Mount. It was the bottom of the lineup that generated the rally for Brush, but the top of the lineup cannot get any of these runners home. The stretch. Pitch to T-Money. Fastball for a strike on the outer half of the knees. No balls and 1 strike to Mount. The stretch and the offering. And a slow curve is grounded to second, right to Holbeck. He's got it. Sidearms to first low, but Marquez has got it. And Trevor Shurtleff does an incredible job of getting out of that frame virtually unscathed after the Bean Diggers had bases loaded and nobody out with a run across. They did not score again. For the Bean Diggers, 1 run, 2 hits, 1 error, and the bases were left full of Bean Diggers. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It's Fort Morgan 3, Brush 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Let's begin the bottom of the 5th inning with the Mustangs leading the Bean Diggers in Fort Morgan 3-1 here on Morgan County's B106. Nate Cage swings and fists it into right center field. A long run for Rule, but it's going to drop for a base hit. And Nate Cage is now 2 for 2. He also walked This is KPRB, Brush, Fort Morgan. Again, Morgan County's B106. And Nate Cage will have a courtesy runner. But I do not see the courtesy runner until now. And that is that Grayson Garber out there wearing 7? Yeah, I think it is. Yep, that's who it is, Grayson Garber. Or let's see if he's going to hit now. All right, here's Hamer. No, I don't think that's not Garber at first. I'm not sure who's over there. Yeah, Garber's now the hitter, apparently, the stretch. Throw back the first, runner back in diving there. All right, I think they've switched uniforms on me here. So Garber digs in. Stretch and pitch, squaring to bunt, and it pops it foul up the third base side. No balls and 1 strike. Here to Garber here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. The Bead Diggers trail the Mustangs 3-1. The stretch by Dunker. The pitch squaring to bunt again as Garber's up and in. Count levels at 1-1 with Isaac Linker on deck, who's been very good defensively. Also drove in the game's first run. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Mustangs. 1 run on 3 hits for Brush. The Bead Diggers with 2 errors. The Mustangs with 1. And that changeup is high. 2 balls and 1 strike. And Dunker's done a credible job. And you check out the runs he's given up. And again, none of them have been earned. Step off, no throw. Because they scored those 3 runs in the first 2 innings when Brush committed errors in each frame. The stretch by Dunker and the pitch. That's upstairs with a fastball, 3-1. Now he's getting himself into a bit of trouble here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Fort Morgan looking to stretch out a 2-run lead. Short lead at first. And the pitch. Swing and a miss and a ball at the letters. That might have been ball 4, but instead it was strike 2. Yeah, still not sure who's over at first base for the Mustangs, but he's not going anywhere with a 1-step lead unless the ball's put in play. Swung on and tapped foul at the plate. Count remains at 3-2. Colin Cole lays down the sign. The stretch and the pitch, and he short-armed it. It's a walk. Yeah, it should be a walk. I've got a walk here to Garber. And now 1st and 2nd. And here's Isaac Linker with an RBI single and a ground out. And Coach Kevin Fergus will pay a visit to the hill. And it looks like we might have a pitching change here. Yeah, we're definitely going to have a defensive change. So let's take it with them. A 2-minute break. The score, Fort Morgan 3, Brush 1, back in 2 minutes on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Jaron Peterson is the new pitcher for the Bead Diggers here in relief of Ryan Dunker. And let's see, because we had a couple changes here, and I didn't spot them all. Let's see, it's second base for Brush. Huh. Whoever's wearing 21, that's a mystery. Yeah, I wonder if they're missing a player they brought up from JV. But anyway, here we go with Isaac Linker. Yeah, D. Herrera still at third. The stretch. Long pause, and the pitch squaring to bunt, and he fouls it off the catcher's guard. They're not going to say it was a foul, and Cole is looking for it. It goes to the screen, and Peterson has to chase it down. And Cole, I think, thought it was fouled off. Cole, I believe, thought it was fouled off, but apparently it wasn't. So that's going to go as a pass ball. Runners at second and third, and now Linker's got a shot to drive in 2. No balls and 1 strike. 3-1, Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 5th inning. Digging in. The stretch. Linker awaits the 0-1 pitch. And that fastball is over but low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Yeah, this game has come to a little bit of a standstill. It was moving along at a pretty rapid pace, but not anymore. The Bead Diggers had a big threat in the 5th inning, scored just 1 run. Long pause, 1-1 pitch. Swung on and grounded to second. Should be a routine play, but it takes a low hop. A terrible hop into center field. 2 are going to score on the play. Here comes Garver. Man, I even hate to score that in air. I mean, it literally was taking a huge Sunday hop, and then it rolled out there. I tell you, I called it a 2-run single there for Linker. I've never seen that bad of a misdirected hop. It went from a hop to a roll, and the Mustangs now lead 5-1. That was obviously a very odd bounce there. Once it hit the lip of the grass, that's when it started rolling out there. And again, we got to get that player's name. Stretch and pitch, bunted out in front of the plate. It's going to be fielded by Peterson, throw to first in time. And Jimmy Keller with a nice sac bunt is retired. But Keller did his job beautifully, advancing the base runner to second and Linker. Here's Adrian Marquez. Marquez has reached on an air and singled. He is sitting at 1 for 2. Here's the stretch by Peterson as he looks in for the sign from Alan Cole. Long pause. And the pitch. Curveball's a strike. Right down the middle, it's 0-1. Yeah, that's tough to score that in air. I mean, that hop was, it wasn't a hop. I mean, it literally was bouncing nice and easy. Long pause, 0-1. Fastball ran inside. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. 2 across for the Mustangs here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They lead 5-1. Off of second is Linker. And Marquez awaits. Peterson works very slow. Oh, they got a shot at second. Throw back to second. Lands into center field, but it's backed up there beautifully by Ryan Fergus. Yeah, it looks like Ben Brown is in left, and I think that's the alignment they had, with Brown going to left field. But again, I got to pick up who the second baseman is for Brush, because Cox is normally out there. That's not him there. And they called up somebody from the JV squad. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. And Peterson, with a long pause, looks back. The pitch, curveball is a strike on the inner half. Just above the knees, it's 1-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Adrian Marquez. Colin Cole lays down the sign. Man, Peterson taking his time between pitches. 1-2 pitch. Swung on and grounded foul up the third base side. Man, that's going to slow the game down. The Mustangs have 8 hits in the game. The Bead Diggers have 3. 1 and 2 once again to Adrian Marquez. Peterson looks back twice, a third time, and delivers in the dirt. I tell you what, though, if you're a pitcher and you want good defense behind you, Peterson might think about working a little bit quicker, because that becomes very difficult in terms of maintaining your level of concentration. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Marquez awaits. Well, he'll get the pitch eventually. Throw back to second. Back in diving over there is Isaac Linker. Bee Diggers have played some pretty good defense, though, since the first couple of innings. I mean, they've committed 2 errors. All right, so we'll get to a 2-2 pitch here to Adrian Marquez as Peterson stretches. And Peterson pitches. Swung on and tapped foul to the backstop. Trevor Shurtleff will probably have one more inning of work, as Shurtleff is at 97 pitches, so he's only got 13 remaining. Unless he starts a hitter with less than 110 to his arsenal, then he can complete that. And the 2-2 to Marquez. Here it is. Swung on and driven down the left field line, and to his right, Brownie dives, and it's off his glove. Brown's going to have to chase it down. Around third is Linker. He's going to score, and it's an RBI double for Marquez. The Mustangs have 3 across in the bottom of the 5th inning and lead the Bee Diggers 6-1. And that ball had lots of topspin out there, making it that much more difficult for Brown to make the play. And for the Mustangs, that's their 9th hit of the game. There's Bobby Tolson, and now they're going to appeal. And safe. They were appealing at first base, but Marquez apparently stepped on the bag. Tolson with a sac bunt, and he struck out. The Bee Diggers are going to be headed towards their 4th consecutive loss if they don't rally in the final 2 innings. And the offering, and the fastball is inside. That run is charged. Let's see, no, I think that is Peterson's run there, the stretch. We'll close the book on Dunker momentarily. Still only 1 out. Pitch. Over but low. 2 balls and no strikes. When you're looking for someone to walk you through the insurance world, turn to the office of Greg Mullen and Brush. Home, Auto, Life, and Health. State Farm Insurance is there for you and your family at 842-4555. 2 balls and no strikes to Tolson. 6-1 the Mustangs in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the offering. And the breaking ball went behind the junior. 3-1. Well, 1 more big hit, and this game is virtually over. With the way Shurtleff is pitching with those 9 strikeouts, including huge strikeouts of Peterson and Fergus with the bases loaded and nobody and 1 out respectively earlier in this inning. Let's see, Peterson with a 3-0. Here it comes. And it's a fastball low, and it's a walk. And here is Shurtleff. Trevor Shurtleff with an RBI single preceded by a pop-out. And he also lined out to the right fielder Carson Rule on a very nice play out there. The stretch. And the pitch. Over but low again. 1 ball and no strikes. And Peterson's getting into dangerous territory right now. At this point, he doesn't start throwing them over, then there's going to be a significant issue here. And they might have to use another pitcher. Let's see, that's 21 for Brush. Oh, that's Nick Wellen out there. Okay, now we know that's Nick Wellen out at second base for the Bee Diggers. Should have had that one. Swung on and grounded left side. Tough play, charging his mount. And then he dropped the ball. He just dropped the ball after apparently he had it in his glove. And the Bee Diggers commit the error. It's the second one by Mount. And the bases are loaded. Bases are loaded for Joe Holbeck. And now they can break it wide open with a 5-run lead. In fact, they can break it wide open to the point if they generate a huge rally, they can end it here. The stretch. Holbeck awaits, and the pitch. In the dirt, scoots by Colin Cole to the screen. And here comes Marquez. He will score in the wild pitch. And it's now 7-1 Mustangs. And the other runners advance. Holbeck reached on an air at a bunt single, and he popped out. Now, I still don't give Wellen an error earlier in this inning. That was the most unusual change of direction with the ball. Holbeck awaits the pitch, and he swings and fouls it straight back. Yeah, the B-Diggers have got to finish with some heart here because the Mustangs have taken advantage. This is a very good Fort Morgan team. They'll be hosting a district tournament coming up here in about 5 weeks, as they did a year ago. They are the favorites to win the Colorado 7. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. 4 across and 2 on. 7-1 Mustangs. The stretch. Peterson delivers. And the curveball is a strike right down the middle, thigh high. And the count is at 1-2. On deck is Trey McBride. Laying down the sign is Cole. And the 1-2 offering is taken low in the dirt, in fact. Cole blocks that one. Count is at 2-2. Man, we're headed for a long half inning here. And again, if Fort Morgan can somehow keep this rally going, if they score 4 runs, we're going to end this game in abbreviated fashion. We won't even get to the 6th inning. 2-2 to Holbeck. Peterson looks in, and the pitch. Curveball called strike 3 down the middle at the knees. Holbeck strikes out. That's out number 2. That's an excellent pitch there by Peterson. So 2 down. And here's McBride. He is singled. He's popped out and grounded out. Trey McBride, looking for his first home run of the season, is 1 for 3. The stretch by Peterson. And the pitch. And he swings and fouls it off to the right. Count is at 0-1. Ryan Dunker started this inning for Brush, but was pulled in favor of Jaron Peterson, who's allowed some runs here, trying to eliminate further damage. No balls, 1 strike, 2 out, 2 on. The stretch by Peterson. McBride awaits. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and a ball down and in. 0-2 to McBride. Well, the one thing that Peterson has in his arsenal, besides that breaking ball, is a pretty good fastball. Runners take their leads off of 2nd and 3rd. And McBride awaits again. The 0-2 offering. Swung on and grounded to 2nd. Nick Wellen backs up. He's got it. Slings to 1st for the out. And the Mustangs are retired here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But they did plenty of damage in this frame, as Fort Morgan put together 4 runs. And they did it on 3 hits. There was a B-Digger error and 2 men left. 5 complete. The Mustangs lead the B-Diggers 7-1. On Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. All right, the Mustangs have a bevy of changes. And I mean a lot of them as we go to the 6th inning. Bobby Tolson is now the new pitcher. At short is Trevor Shurtleff. The right fielder is Trey McBride. Isaac Linker moves over to 2nd. As the Mustangs lead the B-Diggers 7-1. It'll be Gunnar Guzman, Ryan Dunker, and Ben Brown for Brush. Bobby Tolson on the season, 1-0 with a 4.67 ERA. And a good inning there for the Mustangs, scoring those 4 runs. And let's see, you can close the book on Ryan Dunker. He did not pitch badly for Brush. Through 80 pitches over 4+ innings, allowing 5 runs, 2 earned. Well, let's see, we might have to update that. I don't know if that updated on command there. Relying strictly on the technology. But I think that's right. Let's see. Yeah, Dunker, 80 pitches, yep. 2 earned runs. Walked 2, struck out 1. Gunnar Guzman has struck out twice, and Trevor Shurtleff pitched a whale of a game, striking out 9 over 5 innings. Wyman pitched to Gunnar, and that's a strike. on the outer half by the right-hander Bobby Tolson. Tolson went the distance against Frederick in a 3-1 victory. Really struggled against Vista Peak, and that's up and in. Took something off of that. The count is leveled at 1-1 strike. Mustangs are off until Wednesday when they host Weld Central here on B106 and B106.com. The offering swung on and popped up into left center field. Over to his right is, let's see, I think Hamer's still out there making the catch. And there's one down. One down, that'll send up Ryan, check that, Nick Wellen now. Yeah, Wellen came in when Dunker was taken out. So Nick Wellen's first plate appearance of the game, and he takes a fastball for a strike on the outer corner there. It's no balls and one strike. Mustangs are 5 outs away from win number 6. The pitch, swing, and a miss and a breaking ball. Count moves to 0-2. Nick Wellen is only a freshman against this junior right-hander. And the 0-2 offering. Swung on and chopped to third. Nate Cage has got it. And he sidearms to first for the out, and there's 2 down. 2 down as Cage retires Wellen. And that'll send up Ben Brown, who's now in left field for Brush. Brown struck out and singled. That was an infield hit. Brown has scored Brush's only run. There's the wind and pitch. And the breaking ball really didn't break. It stayed way up there. 1 ball and no strikes. With 2 down, the base is empty in the 6th inning. The Mustangs lead by 6. And the offering. That's right there for a strike with a fastball down the middle. Thigh high. It's 1-1. Whether you're in the market to purchase a new or pre-owned vehicle, Ehrlich Toyota Easton Fort Morgan will fit you to the car or truck of your choice, serving all of Northeast Colorado. Swung on and popped up in a shallow left. And now to his left as Jimmy Keller ranges under it, makes the one-handed grab. And that's it. 1, 2, 3 for Bobby Tolson here in the 6th inning. We played 5.5. It's Fort Morgan 7, Brush 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Nate Cage will begin the bottom of the 6th inning for Fort Morgan as they lead Brush 7-1. Jaron Peterson came into the game 1 inning ago, at least on the mound. He started off in center field in relief of Ryan Dunker, who's the pitcher of record for the Bee Diggers. Cage today has been very productive, 2 for 2, as he has 2 of the 9 hits by the Mustangs. And if the Bee Diggers do not rally, this would be their 4th consecutive loss. Wind and pitch. Fastball is inside to the senior right-handed hitting third baseman, Cage. It's 1 ball and no strikes as the temperature begins to drop a bit here in Fort Morgan. The wind and the 1-0. Swung on and grounded inside to the second baseman, Wellen, and he tosses to first for the out. 1 down in the bottom of the 6th inning for Grayson Garber. Walked and scored in his only plate appearance. So Cage is retired for the first time in the game. And he's been a big bat in this Fort Morgan lineup for 3 seasons now. The wind by Jaron Peterson, the offering. Squaring to bunt, lays it down the third baseline, and that's a gorgeous bunt, but it's now foul. Trickles foul as De Herrera had no shot to play that one. It had enough side spin that it went foul, and it's 0-1 to Grayson Garber. In fact, when Fort Morgan plays Weld Central on Wednesday, that probably will be their stiffest competition in the Colorado 7. This league is getting weaker and weaker, which is why it's important to play these non-conference games like the Mustangs have been doing against some pretty good opponents. Swung on and grounded up the middle. Second baseman Wellen tries to backhand it, cannot. And it's into center field. Boy, he played that a little bit lazily. No, I'm going to score that one an error. I mean, the other one I gave him a break on, but that is an error on the second baseman, Wellen. He actually could have gotten in front of that ball. Tried to sideswipe it a bit. And the Bay Diggers have committed 4 errors in the game. And here's Isaac Linker, who singled, grounded out, and singled again. He's driven in 3. Had the opening RBI this game. Short lead at first, about 2 steps there for Grayson. The stretch by Peterson. And the pitch runner goes. No, he bluffs. It's a fastball for a strike at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. The Mustangs scored a run in the first, 2 more in the second, and 4 more in the 5th inning. Peterson with a long pause. Throw back to first, and back in diving is Garver. The Mustangs have outscored the Bee Diggers by 6, have out-hit the Bee Diggers by 6. The stretch by Peterson. And the 0-1 pitch to Linker will come at any time. Here it is. Swung on and grounded left side. Third baseman D. Herrera throws to first low, but it's dug out on a Sunday hop by Gunnar Guzman with a runner going. And there's 2 down. Advancing to second was Garver. And let's see, we'll have a change in the lineup here. And Jacob Ortega will now hit for the Mustangs here. The freshman digs in. Long pause by Peterson. And the pitch. And that one is low. 1 ball and no strikes. Ortega, he's gotten bigger and stronger. The stretch by Peterson. And the throw back to second, and back in safely there's Garver. Closer play than it should have been, as the tag was applied by Mount. All right, Ortega back into the box. The stretch by Peterson. Long pause. Looks back twice. 1-0 pitch. And he takes a breaking ball. A little bit high. Well, it didn't miss by much. It's 2-0. 2 down to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Mustangs lead the Bee Diggers 7-1. Ortega awaiting the 2-0 pitch from Jaron Peterson. Here it comes. And he swings and chops it to second. Wellen backs up. Low hop on him. He picks it up. A throw is going to be late and off the glove of Guzman up the first base side. And then Garver's going to score. Now the ball gets away from the catcher, Cole. And advancing to second is Ortega. And it's now 8-1. Man, I hate to say this, but there were 3 errors committed on that play. I mean, there was a missed field, then the ball off of Guzman, then the errant throw. I mean, that really is, unfortunately. Yeah, 3 errors there on the same play, believe it or not. Boy, that's a disaster. So that'll send up Marquez, and now the game's getting a little bit uglier here for the Bee Diggers. The stretch by Peterson. Marquez awaits the pitch, and the breaking ball is inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeah, so Wellen misfielded it. Then the ball went off of Guzman's glove on a good throw, although it was going to be late. And then Guzman made a throw towards the plate, so he committed 2 errors on that play. Throw to second, back in diving is Ortega. So that was nothing but disastrous for the Bee Diggers there. Well, we'll just call it a 1 error there on Guzman, actually. And Marquez awaits the pitch, but the Bee Diggers did commit 2 on that play. And the offering. And that one hit Marquez on the breaking ball on that elbow guard. So he's on base, and now it's becoming completely unraveled for Brush. And now the Mustangs have the game-ending run at the plate. They're up by 7 here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Bobby Tolson will now hit. That's the second time Marquez has been hit in the game, but the first time he's been awarded first base. They say he leaned into the pitch the last time up. Bee Diggers have now committed 6 errors in the game. But again, Fort Morgan is doing everything right. They've got just one miscue. Tolson with a sac bunt. He struck out and walked 0 for 1. The stretch by Peterson. And the pitch swung on and fouled off to the right. No balls and 1 strike. So the Mustangs scored in the first 2 innings. They've scored in the last 2 innings, including this one. 3 and 4 were the only goose eggs. No balls and 1 strike. Bobby Tolson awaits the pitch. Peterson with a long pause, looks back at second. And the offering. Swing and a miss with a fastball down at the knees. It's 0-2. We'll have players of the game on both sides coming up. That'll be during our Facebook Live segment as well. And the 0-2 runners go. Swung on and fouled on the breaking ball. Count remains at 0-2. Bank of Colorado is proud to support local sports and academics. There's only one Colorado and one bank dedicated to help you make the most of living here. Not just a bank in Colorado, Bank of Colorado. That's member FDIC. It'll be another 2-strike pitch to Tolson. Here it is. Swung on and grounded left side, and De Herrera plays it off his body. And Tolson's going to reach another Bee Digger error. A little bit of a tough hop, but the Bee Diggers have now committed 7 in the game. And the bases are loaded for Trevor Shirtliff. If Shirtliff can send all 3 home, this game would be over. Shirtliff is 1 for 4. His base hit drove in a run. Stretched by Peterson with 2 down in the 6th. And the offering. Swung on and tapped foul behind the plate. At third is Ortega. Marquez at second. And Bobby Tolson is at first. And Shirtliff with a no-ball, 1-strike count. And now time is called. Well, I'm telling you, the first 4 innings breezed by. I think we played the first 4 innings in like 55 minutes, and these last 2 have taken forever. The pitch swung on and chopped right out in front of the plate. Peterson will underhand it to the catcher for the force. And that fielder's choice to end the inning goes 1-2. And that will end this frame here for the Mustangs. However, the Mustangs do score a run. And they score the run. It's a very ugly inning for Brush. No hits. There were 4 errors and 3 men left. Wow. Let's head to the 7th. It is Fort Morgan 8, Brush 1 on Morgan County's B106 at B106.com. Let's head to the 7th, where the Mustangs lead the Bee Diggers 8-1. It'll be Connor Keegan, Isaac De Herrera, and Colin Cole against Bobby Tolson. Keegan struck out and singled in the game's only run for Brush. And that came back in the 5th inning. And the changeup is down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Anytime you've committed more errors than you have hits, you're in trouble. That's what's happened with Brush. The offering. Changeup, a strike. Thigh high. The count is level at 1 ball and 1 strike. And the pitch to Keegan. Swung on and grounded to first. A routine play there for Marquez, who steps in the bag for the first out here in the 7th. One down for De Herrera, who grounded a short and walked. Yeah, this was a 3-0 game going into the 5th inning when the B-Diggers played it a run, had the bases loaded and nobody out, and that's when the game completely turned in Fort Morgan's favor. The pitch is the breaking ball away, as Trevor Shurtleff struck out both Jaron Peterson and Ryan Fergus, and then retired Trent Mount. The pitch, curveball, a strike on the inner half at the knees. And the count levels at 1-1. The Mustangs are 2 outs away from improving to 6-1. The pitch, outside. Ball 2, strike 1. With 1 out and the bases empty in the 7th. And the offering, up and in. Tolson did have some control issues, plenty of control issues against Vista Peak when they fell behind 11-0 and won the game 13-12 in the first of 2 last Saturday. And that one is low. It's a 5-pitch walk to De Herrera, and that'll bring up Colin Cole. The B-Digger catcher walked and reached on an error. And for Mustang pitching today, that's the 4th walk issued. 3 by Shurtleff, that one by Tolson. The pitch, swung on and chopped over the mound. The shortstop, Shurtleff, is going to underhand a second for the force. They will not have the back end of that one. It was hit too slowly. And what are they saying there? I thought that, was he not on the bag? And the play was in plenty of time. Wow. I mean, he should have been out in plenty of time. Well, I mean, he held on to the ball. Wow. I mean, they couldn't have called him safe there. That's insane. That underhand toss. All right, well, I don't know what's happening out there, but, I mean, you can make that call blindfolded. I mean, that's how easy that was to make. And the fact that there was an issue out there at second base, it was a simple underhand toss, so the force is made, no throw on the back end. And there's 2 down here for Jaron Peterson, who's 0 for 2. Grounded out, walked, and struck out. Here's the stretch by Shurtleff. 1-step lead at first, and the pitch. Fastball's a strike on the outer half. No balls and 1 strike. With 2 down and the bases. Well, you got 1 on for the B-Diggers. I should say the bases are not empty. Here in the 7th inning. Stretch by Tolson, a pitch. Swung on and popped up down the right field line. To his left is McBride along the line in foul territory. Drops the ball. Wow. Well, that is scored an error on McBride because the at-bat is extended on a play that should have been made. So assigned the error there to McBride, the second by the Mustangs in the game. But it is 0-2 there to Peterson. Yeah, and Trey's probably trying to figure out how in the world he dropped that ball. It was pretty easy. He's got sure hands out there, but not on that particular one. The 0-2 to Peterson. Here it is. And the breaking ball is down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here to Jaron Peterson in the top half of the 7th inning. And the offering called, strike 3. On the outside corner, Peterson strikes out for the 2nd time in the game. And the Mustangs defeat the B-Diggers by a score of 8-1. Let's take a 3-minute break. We'll wrap it up after this. Fort Morgan 8, Brush 1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com. Mustang Post-Game Show is brought to you by Morgan Community College. Find out why Morgan Community College is the best choice for your higher education. Visit MCC online at morgancc.edu. All part of the B-Digger Post-Game Show here on Facebook Live, brought to you by Mr. D's Ace Home Center with 3 locations to serve you better: Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. As in this Morgan County Mania, the first Brush Fort Morgan baseball game to be played in 3 years. The Mustangs snap a 2-game losing streak to the Bee Diggers and win today 8-1. For the Mustangs, 8 runs on 9 hits, 2 errors. They left 11 on base. The Bee Diggers had 1 run, 3 hits, 7 errors in the game. They left 6 on base. The time of the game, 1 hour and 58 minutes. The winning pitcher was Trevor Shirtliff. He's outstanding as he went 5 innings, allowing just 3 hits and striking out 9. And the loss went to Ryan Dunker. The Mustangs wasted no time getting on the board at the bottom of the first inning on Isaac Linker's RBI single. And that was also aided earlier in the inning by a Bee Digger error, so that was an unearned run. And then Trevor Shirtliff had an RBI single in the second inning to go along with Nate Cage's run-scoring single. And the Mustangs led 3-0 going into the 5th inning. That's when the Bee Diggers had a huge opportunity in the game. Connor Keegan drove a single down the right field line, making it 3-1. And Shirtliff was in major trouble with the bases loaded and nobody out. But then he struck out 2 hitters in Jaron Peterson and Ryan Fergus, and then induced a ground out by Trent Mount. And that seemingly deflated the Bee Diggers throughout the remainder of the game as back came Fort Morgan in the bottom of the 5th inning, breaking it wide open with 4 runs as they got a 2-run single on a funny hop as the ball was hit by Isaac Linker, who drove 3 runs in the game. Adrian Marquez would have an RBI double, and the Mustangs added 2 more runs to win the game 8-1. Fort Morgan on the year is now 6-1. The Bee Diggers have lost 4 consecutive games and fall to 2-4. Time for the players of the game, one on each side. The Mustang player of the game is brought to you by Transwest Chevrolet Buick, serving Northeast Colorado and now located in Fort Morgan and Sterling. Stop by and take a test drive. They have a great selection of new and used vehicles, or browse their website at transwestchevroletbuick.com. And I basically said it right there with the numbers put up by Trevor Shirtliff as he was dominant, striking out the side in the second inning. He had that one hitter working through 4, and he is the Mustang player of the game again, going 5 innings, allowing just 3 hits and 1 run and striking out 9 and pitching out of a critical situation in that 5th inning. The Bee Digger player of the game is brought to you by Cargill, committed to feeding the world in a responsible way by reducing environmental impact and improving products and processes. Learn about Cargill's story of commitment at Cargill.com. And not too much shine here for the Bee Diggers with all the errors committed, but Carson Rule had an outstanding play in right field, a diving catch off the bat of Trevor Shirtliff. So we'll give Carson Rule the player of the game, even though he was only in there defensively. But again, a very rough game for the Bee Diggers with those 7 errors. Now Brush is back in action coming up on Saturday, weather permitting, Saturday morning at 11 o'clock against Resurrection Christian. That'll be on 1010 KSIR and KSIR.com. They'll still have to make up that game against Strasburg that was rained out earlier this week. And as for the Mustangs, they will play a Colorado 7 League game on Wednesday. They'll host the Weld Central Rebels, and Brian Nickel will be with you. 4 o'clock first pitch on Morgan County's B106 as well as B106.com. Outstanding job by our sound engineer and producer Tristan Reyes. I'm John Beltran with a final score here on Facebook Live during the postgame show. The Fort Morgan Mustangs defeat the Brush Bee Diggers 8-1 on Morgan County's B106 and B106.com.